Alright, fair warning. The matchup that really was a massive close call is very, very hard to watch. And I've always said this about myself, and this kind of does prove it further, but I don't think I am worthy of getting as many fights as I do per war. Right now, I get like 8 or 9 fights a war. I think I deserve like way less, like maybe 5 or something. But when you have a rank 3 Photon, you kind of have to do like a good chunk of fights, right? But yeah, I don't think I'm good enough to handle them, and this was definitely proof of that today because yeah, I messed up big time on one of the most important fights for sure. But yeah, here I kind of messed up too in this first fight, but it is what it is. It's just a path fight. It's not really that punishing, so I'm not really worried about it. But yeah, this was just like so small in comparison to the big disaster that was the Werewolf by Night fight. That is a few fights away. I think it is the 5th fight in this video. But yeah, I dropped the SP3 and it does some pretty good damage, so not bad at all. And this matchup is essentially over now. Man-Thing, not the hardest defender out there anymore, these days especially, but hey, he still has a ton of health. He's still a good time staller for sure, so hey, it like, for a Alliance 4 defender, he does his job. He stalls time, and fight time was actually pretty important this war as well. So yeah, gotta be fast here. And I was kind of fast for the most part. I think most of my fights were under a minute, which is always ideal for Photon. And throughout this war video, I wasn't running recall masteries, and I don't know if that was the right call for this Alliance war. And recall masteries, they supercharge Photon, right? She becomes insane with them, but also she does take a bit of health when using them, of course. But here we have this Gallon matchup, and Gallon is just slowly becoming, not even slowly, he is rapidly becoming one of my favorite champions in the entire game. He's so fun to play. His damage output with the Harvest is so strong as well. This man is just such a monster, and thank you to my commenters for suggesting the Thor relic on him, because he gets a Vigor passive whenever he gains a Fury, and that increases his damage output by like 3%, and that includes the Harvest as well. So it is a nice way of like upping the Harvest damage. So yeah, that was a very clean fight there. That was Ascended Zemo as well. So Gallon, just such a monster, man, especially in Battlegrounds, but in Alliance War, he is still a very powerful champion too. But yeah, now let's heal up Photon and let's go on to Path 5 of Section 2. Now this has a Killmonger, which is no big deal for Photon, but honestly, I want to try this matchup with Gallon. I feel like Gallon could be very good here because his damage output is mainly the Harvest damage, which is unaffected by reverb. So that is my thought process. I feel like he should be very good for this matchup, but Photon is honestly just as fine as well. But however, there is some danger to it because this has Sadist, and that means Killmonger gets plus 50% attack for each debuff on him. And you can see here that we have a ton of debuffs on him already. So if I get hit on accident here, I am just done for. I will take so much damage. But yeah, we still do pretty good here. Like, Photon is a great counter for this matchup in this meta at least. But once Alliance War switches tactic, this won't be a safe matchup in the slightest. I mean, it might still be, but you'll take a lot more damage with Photon at least. But yeah, this matchup is essentially over. I try for the intercept and I get it, and I drop a combo, and yeah, just like that, Photon destroys that matchup. And now we have this Kindred. Now, I am terrified of Kindred. I never like fighting this creature, and I know that like Kindred gets hard countered by this meta. I don't care. I still do not like this champion. I love playing Kindred on attack, but facing off against Kindred, no thank you. I would rather, you know, take a different champion. But hey, at least I have Photon, who is like pretty good for him with this meta. So yeah, Photon, she'll get the job done. But yeah, still a very scary fight because Kindred, when is he not scary, man? Just a timeless defender at this point. And even if you like have the best counter for him, the AI is still really, really bad at times. But yeah, here I dropped the SP2, and this matchup is now over. So not bad at all. Like, honestly, one of the better matchups in this video, so I will take that. Kind of proud of that, but it's time. We have, oh my gosh, we have one of the worst matchups I've ever done in my life, probably. But I don't even know what to say at this point. Yeah, just let the footage do the talking, I guess, because this was so bad on my end, and it was just a disaster and a half. So Werewolf by Night, if you don't know how he works, he has this howl mechanic, right? And whenever he howls, he goes unstoppable or unblockable, or sometimes even both. And you're going to see here that that really does come into play in this matchup, because he's going to howl, and that howl is going to really mess me up here. So check this out. I'm going to hit his block, go back, and then go in again. There he howls, goes unstoppable, and then SP2s me, so I'm getting a ton of rupture damage on me. And also, if I didn't have those 5 debuffs on him, I would have been toast. I would not have survived that at all, so thankfully Photon got saved by her debuffs because of the decay tactic. But there I mess up again, and yeah, this is just going so poorly already. And yeah, his medium attack is so hard to parry as well. It is so annoying. But here he hits me with the SP1, and the SP1 is so hard to dex. And look at that, I'm now at like 4% health, and I am freaking out. I'm like, okay, let me just prepare the apology text in my mind right now, because I am not winning this matchup. It is completely over for me right now. That was my thought process. I was like, okay, how am I going to apologize to the Alliance right now? What do I do? How do I apologize to them? But you're going to see that somehow we actually survive this matchup and we get the solo. I don't even know how I did this, but oh my gosh, what a disaster, man. That was simply just me not knowing Werewolf, and also just me not being good against Werewolf, because yeah, his mechanics are just really annoying. So yeah, when that champion is no longer tactic and you can't use decay against him, he is gonna be very annoying. But yeah, now we have this Ebony Mon. I'm like, at this point, I am just terrified. I'm like, okay, what do I do now? Because I almost just lost my streak, which is a pretty big deal for me. Actually, no, it's not. Like, it's whatever, but still, I almost lost my streak, which is something, I guess. And yeah, there I solo the fight. I'm like, okay, let's just try to regroup here, right? Because I don't want to give a death in this very important Alliance war. So let's just play it calm. Let's just play it chill. And yeah, I was just so nervous for the rest of this war matchup, because like after that happens, you can't be relaxed about it, right? You have to get like really nervous, because you were so close to just not surviving that. But yeah, now we have this rank 2 Shuri, I believe. No big deal. I mean, it's a big deal for me right now, because I feel like I can't take any fight at this point, because I'm just so like out of it. But I wanted to finish it up ASAP, because I don't like having fights there just waiting for me. I want to get it done ASAP, because the longer I hold off those fights, the more nervous I get. And when I get nervous, I play very badly. Case in point, that Werewolf by Night. But yeah, we got the solo here as well, and I'm like, okay, at this point, I think I've regrouped. I think this abs man will be pretty straightforward. So let's just do it real quick. And also, shout out to White Magneto, man. White Magneto is by far the biggest MVP in any Alliance war ever. He saved me against that Werewolf by Night because of that extra attack rating and that passive stun. So yeah, White Magneto really did save the day for me at least. And that close call would have been a straight up KO if I didn't have that White Magneto pre-fight. So yeah, massive props to him. You gotta appreciate him. He is so powerful and just so valuable as well. But yeah, this matchup isn't really anything too bad. It's just kind of straightforward, I guess. Here I can just go in, drop my SP2, and the damage output is pretty dang sweet. So yeah, Photon, just one of the best counters for this. And yeah, rank 3 Photon is just really strong. But yeah, here I dropped the relic and this matchup is now over. So that alliance war was a scare for sure, but hey, I sold everything. The streak continues, so yeah, the streak has had too many close calls at this point. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this alliance war video, and yeah, that's about it for me.